were known, MCing, DJing, graffiti had grown, B-boy and knowledge, the pillars of the game, but a six emerged, adding to the flame, comics and hip-hop, a fusion so tight, visual storytelling, lyrics that ignite, from the pages to the beats, a seamless blend, the sixth element, where two worlds transcend.
Welcome to the Sixth Element Show, where comics and hip-hop flow. Reno and Stu guided the way, bringing you the culture every day. Welcome to the Sixth Element Show, where comics and hip-hop flow. Reno and Stu.
Yes, y'all. Sixth element of hip hop. We got the show for you tonight. It's the Devil Show. You know what I mean? Pre-liked, casual toy collector salute. Yeah, man. Everybody is in the building tonight. All the devils are coming. We got Mephisto in the house. He done graced Ironheart. Finally here, Mephisto. Raekwon's got a new album dropping. And I don't know, man. It appears that the likes of old Didster, Diddy the Diddler has escaped the clutches. Well, he's still, I mean, acquitted of I think 3 out of 5, but they still hit him pretty good, and he did not get bail. So yeah, he's still
he beat the RICO charge, and he beat all of them except for 1 or 2 charges.
Yeah, so we'll definitely dive into that.
20 years, we'll see. We'll see.
But yeah, Mephisto is here, and casual Ironheart is done already. They dropped 3 episodes, and then the next drop was 3 more episodes. It was 1, 2, and 3, and then this week it was 4, 5, and 6. So you won't get life. No, he's not gonna get life. Diddy gonna run the city again. Diddy gonna run the city again. That's just how it is, man. It's gonna go down. But we're gonna dive deep into it. But before we dive into them things, man, I don't know. Let's talk about this great album that I've been. Let's just talk about some good shit. Raekwon announces a new album, The Emperor's New Clothes. I mean, that's a dope title. He's got the article in Source and all the magazine, all the hip hop magazines and all that. But he's got Ghostface on there, Nas. It's looking good. Billboard's talking about it already, so that's a good look already. But yeah, man. The what I'd say back in April, Nas his label Mass Appeal announced an ambitious plan for Legend Has It, which is his series of mythic rap elders, albums rather, of mythic rap elders. And in May, we heard the first of those records, which was Slick Rick's Victory. I gotta say, I wasn't thoroughly impressed. Slick left me wanting. I'm sorry, Rick, but you didn't do it this time. I gotta be honest. I gotta keep it a buck. There's a couple cuts. I'm not gonna lie. There's 2-3 cuts, but you wild out, Slick. I don't know what you did. You made your own beats, and I don't know. You had fun with it. A lot of it sounded a lot like an '80s album, which is cool. It brought me back to that Slick Rick original in the beginning, but then it sort of bounced around to the 2000s and the 90s. There were some references. It was all over the place. And then we had some, I don't know, was it like EDM, and then like some, yeah, it was. He went off the deep end, but you heard it, right? Did you get to listen to it, the whole thing?
I heard it day one.
Exactly.
I was on it.
Yeah. What do you think?
I'm with you. I wasn't impressed. I mean, I've been impressed with every album he ever made, even the one he did with Warren.
Yeah.
But this one was.
I really like the Art of Storytelling, the one he did where he had Outkast and Raekwon on there.
That was a hot album.
Fire.
That's when he just got out of. Yeah, when he first.
Yeah, he just got out.
Yeah.
I love that one.
Hard.
I like that one. I was having fun at that time. That was just a good time in my life, So when that album came out, it was just dope. It was just dope to have it. It's always dope when things are going well in life and an album drops and you just like rock that album, and it just brings you back to that time. And every time you hear it, so I got one of those out of Slick recently, but this is his first album in 26 years. So, and I mean,
it's been that long.
It's been that long.
Ooh.
Well,
Well, I'm gonna keep it a buck, Reno. We might have a
maybe in
whole a great. We
2016.
might have a saving. We might have a saving grace. Remember, he did a song called Metropolis with DJ Muggs, and I watched the interview with Muggs, and
Yeah,
Muggs said that that's been his dream to always work with Slick Rick and do an album
yeah,
with him. And
right.
he said that. He said, I did it. I got to work with Slick Rick. And then he shut up. Like he was about to spill the beans. So he might have an album with him and Rick, but he just ain't drop it yet.
Mm, it's possible. We'll see. I hope that would be cool. But I'd say today we learned that um
Thank you,
Raekwon
Corey
is
Adger. Thank you, Corey Adger. And salute.
what happened? What Corey said. Yo, what up? What up? What up? Peace, peace. Oh, peace, peace. Salute. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. We talking about the new Raekwon joint, Emperor's New Clothes. Well, it's coming out, and he's definitely done the announcement now. And like I said, it's been we this was yesterday. We learned about it, but we got some details about another piece of the Legend Has It series here. The Wu-Tang Clan stalwart Raekwon hasn't been away for as long as Slick Rick, but his upcoming The Emperor's New Clothes coming out later this month. Should be around about the 18th. His first in 8 years. He's currently on the road right now with Wu-Tang for the Farewell Tour, which looks like a great night out. I really wish I was able to hit some of them dates, but I have to settle for the 3 times I've already seen them to satiate me. But we don't have all the details yet on the LP as of yet, but Raekwon hasn't released any singles at all. But at least we know who some of Ray's collabs are on the album. We have, I mean, naturally, he's got the Ghostface, his ride or die homie right there. That's you always got to have Ghost. And then who's long awaited Supreme Clientele 2 is also part of the Legend Has It slate and was already supposed to have come out, and it hasn't dropped yet. So we will definitely keep you abreast with news on that as soon as it does. But fellow Wu-Tang Killer Bees, Method Man, Inspector Deck also will be on Raekwon's album. So can't wait to hear Deck. Always dope to hear Deck. Of course, Nas, who has been on Ray's original joint with the Verbal Intercourse joint in 95. And then you have West Side Gun, Benny the Butcher, Conway the Machine. All of them going to be on Ray's new album, bro. You got yeah, you got the Wu-Tang. I mean, these guys been sort of carrying the torch of street style, MCs like that Wu-Tang kind of put on the
Some East
map.
Coast,
And
they've been carrying the torch of East Coast hip hop. I'm gonna keep it a
yeah,
buck.
yeah.
Raekwon even said it. He was like, "Look,
Street
he was
shit,
like,
yeah.
yeah." He said they've been carrying the torch for because you got to remember, East Coast got their own sound, but record companies want everybody to sound like one thing, so they don't lose any money. And there's no creativity when you do that. There's no separation of MCs or styles or anything, man. It's just like a run-on sentence. Like we keep hearing the same thing, same beats, same tempo, same flow, same everything. That's not creative, man. It destroys the music, man, and the industry. Um,
Yeah. Don't
but
nobody
I'm
want to
I'm
hear that shit.
glad, yeah, I'm glad Griselda has carried the torch and came with that New York sound. Even though they from upstate, you got to give them their props, got to give them their respect.
Even
They
though they're
carrying the
from upstate.
torch.
Yeah, I
Cause
mean,
a lot of cause
I don't care
nah,
where they
real
from,
Reno, that's a
man.
real thing. That's a real thing where people didn't want to give them props because they weren't from the city. Like that was a real thing when they first came out.
I mean, I guess I don't know. I mean, maybe
That's a
some
New
joke.
York thing. Nah, that's a New York
Maybe
thing. That's just that's
I
between New
mean,
Yorkers.
yeah,
Like even
maybe
yeah,
I
like
don't say
down here where
maybe
we at.
some jokers in New York City, but like outside of New York City, don't nobody give a shit about that. If you dope, you dope.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's exactly how it was. Like outside of New York, nobody cared, but inside of New York, the city and the state, some people, and when
Yeah,
they
of
first
course.
came out, didn't want to give
That's
them
to
their
be
props.
expected. That's to be
Yeah, they
expected.
didn't want to give
That's
Ito. They didn't want to give Ito
that's
his
ignorant.
props. Yeah, they didn't want to give Ito his props. The guy Fahim, none of them. They didn't want to give them their because they were from upstate. They didn't want to give them.
Yeah.
They really didn't want to. But now you can't deny him. You got to take your hat off to him.
Well, they'll be on Raekwon's new album. And
That's
the
good.
singers that he's got on there, he's got Stacey Beats, he's got Knots,
What?
he's got
What?
Justice League, he's got Frank G, he's got Roadsart. There's no mention of RZA on the press release. So unfortunately, and no Blue Raspberry, sadly. I wish he would do bring her back. But his solo catalog is a bit uneven. You have the 2009 Only Built for Cuban Links Part 2, pretty much set the standard for legacy rap records. I mean, listen, you know, these guys, these 90s dudes that are coming back with music now, these guys are in their 50s, man. These dudes are not kids no more. You know what I mean? Like, and they're, you know, Nas, Busta Rhymes, these guys coming back out with, you know, classic, basically, you know, dope ass albums that are being considered, you know, legitimate additions to their catalog. And that's not been the case in the past. In the past, when OG MCs would come out, you know, decades later with a joint, it'd be like, oh, cool, that's their sort of, I don't want to gimmick. It's gimmicky. It's nostalgic. It's a nostalgia drop, and it's like, okay, cool. Nas is putting out joints, King's Disease and shit. Motherfuckers are really putting into conversation. This is still legitimate music, right? And the point I'm bringing up is that hip hop is coming a long way, because in the past it was historically rock and roll and other genres that the artists could literally age and you know still sell out arenas and all that. Whereas hip hop, you know, once a rapper got old or you know deemed to be old, which they were still young, it would be an end for them, and that's sad, because there's just no reason for that. These guys, you know, people are still artists. If they were doped in, they're still dope now. I mean, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? So we're now to a point in hip hop where we're seeing these artists continue to game as they should. And I hope, man, I hope it just continues. I hope, you know, I hope one day a 50-year-old Kendrick Lamar drops a joint. I hope a 50-year, you know what I mean? Like that needs to continue on. But it started with Cuban Links 2. Like Cuban Links 2, motherfuckers was like, oh my God, like this is like coming back from a long time. You know, what's it gonna be? Da da da. Cause, you know, the Wu-Tang is very inconsistent. Not for its hardcore fans like me, but I mean for album sales. And so Cuban Links 2 pretty much sets the standard for the legacy rap records. So there's no, you know, there's a lot of reason for excitement here. Emperor's New Clothes supposedly coming out on the 18th. So, you know, 16 days on the Mass Appeal label.
That's dope, bro. That's dope.
And this
Mass
is
Appeal is
the
dope. We gotta give a little shout out to the Mass Appeal channel on YouTube. If you're a real hip hopper, or you like hip hop, or you want to hear some good, uh, watch that channel. That's Nas's channel. That's his. They saying Inspector Deck not really giving his all at the shows. Wow, man, wow.
you know,
I don't
I'm
know.
sure I'm not gonna put that on deck. I'm sure that whatever fan saw that, you know, had an experience at a show where he felt Deck didn't put his all out, but I don't know. I don't know. Uh, I
Yeah, I can't
mean,
answer that one.
yeah, I mean, you know,
Maybe you know
I've
what it
only
is,
heard
Rico?
it from one place. I haven't been hearing it like from everywhere.
Right. It's probably just they want to hear. I don't know. I don't know what they
I
mean
don't
by
know.
not giving his all. Yeah, I don't
Maybe
know
it
what
is
they mean by that.
ongoing thing.
Yeah, I don't know what they mean. But you guys got to watch the Mass Appeal channel when you get a chance. Check it out. It's dope. They have a bunch of. It's just it's all hip hop all the time. Um, you got to check it out. You got to watch Mass Appeal. Go on YouTube, Mass Appeal. Check it out.
All right. Here it is. Raekwon announced his new album, Emperor's New Clothes, out July 18th. This is the source. Just dropped this today. It says hip hop icon Raekwon is set to return with his highly anticipated 8th solo album, Emperor's New Clothes, released on July 18th. Mass Bill project arrives the latest chapter in Legend Has It series, which celebrates New York's hip hop trailblazers. Known for his masterful storytelling and mafioso rap blueprint, Raekwon has long stood the pinnacle of lyrical craftsmanship. From Only Built for Cuban Links to decades of influential solo work, the chef's imprint on the culture is undeniable. The Emperor's New Clothes is stacked with features from elite voices, including West Side Gun, Conway the Machine, Benny the Butcher, Method Man, Ghostface Killah, Inspector Deck, Nas, Stacey Bartha, and Marsha Ambrosius. Production is handled by Swizz Beatz, Knots, Justice League, Frank G, and Roadsart. We got let's see, yeah, that's it. But I can't wait. That's what's up. I'm definitely excited. I mean, anytime Ray or Ghost drop anything, I'm always right there. Always right there. Diddy Combs is denied bail after mixed verdict clears him of his top charges. He a judge declined today to grant Diddy bail, meaning that the hip hop mogul won't go free until he awaits sentencing in his sex crimes case. Bond decision came after jury convicted Combs of federal prosecution related offenses, but acquitted him of sex trafficking and racketeering charges. He's 55 years old, been behind bars since his arrest in September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. He's been in there fucking, what's that?
Month. A little over a month.
A little over a month. September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May.
The trial's been about a little over a month.
He's been in there for like 11 months.
He's been in there almost a year. Yeah, he's been locked up almost a year, but the trial's been going about a month now.
Damn, Diddy, you've been in that joint a year. Your pops would not be proud. Diddy's pops is a real gangster, bro.
Really?
Bro. Let me show you something. Let me show you some shit. Pops is a real gangster. A real gangster. Let's see. Here you go.
I know his aunt had a lot of ties in music business. That's how he got started.
You got the same. You know your father was? Talking about Diddy Combs. Tough Daddy. Tough Daddy. Yes, Daddy. Yeah, that's right. You know, me Melvin, his mother. What his mother name? What his mother name there? Don't do that. Yeah.
Yo, first of all, this is Frank Lucas right here. It's Frank Lucas. So y'all seen the movie American Gangster. Denzel Washington plays a character called Frank Lucas, heroin drug kingpin in Harlem. And this is the real guy. He was right-hand man to Bumpy Johnson. And so he's doing interviews and shit right now. And right here in this video, he's talking to Nicky Barnes, who is played by Cuba Gooding Jr. in American Gangster. But Nicky Barnes, if you don't know, Nicky Barnes was Mr. Untouchable. He was a Harlem legend, another heroin dealer that tried his hand at a mini version of the Mafia Commission with him and his crew, and of course it didn't work out. They ended up beefing over a bitch and snitching on each other. So yeah, that's how that went down. But Frank here, he says, you know who they were talking about Diddy here for a second. He goes, you know who his father was? And he's like Melvin. He's like, oh yeah, Melvin Combs. So if you look at Melvin Combs, you can see pictures of him and shit. He was like an OG, like, fucking 70s hustler guy. There he is. So you can see the What you call it here? Closed caption.
Nigga needs to know the name. I don't know everybody's name. I tell you, this guy Puffy Coin. You know who his father was, right? Puffy Coin. You know who his father was? Talking about Diddy Combs. Puff Daddy. Puff Daddy. Yeah, Daddy. That was Puff Daddy. You know who his father was? Yeah, exactly. You know.
Watch this when somebody in the room, their phone goes off, and Frank, he's like, "Don't do that. Turn that shit off." And he looks back, and that shit beeped again. And the look that he gave him again, that second look, that's the first That's the first time we've seen the gangster Frank Lucas since he's been an old man on camera. You understand what I'm saying? We always see him on camera acting, jovial and Frank Lucas, the gangster, showed up here in a few seconds. Watch this.
Yeah.
you know that look right there. Hey boy. But yeah, that's Diddy's pops. He's an old gangster, an old New York hustler. But yeah, he's well known in the streets and all that. But they said the Grammy-winning impresario stands convicted of 2 counts of crime transportation to engage in prostitution that carries a maximum sentence of 10 years in prison. But jurors cleared him of charges that could have put him behind bars for life. I guess his lawyers argued that the acquittal on those counts changed the legal landscape enough that he should be freed on $1 million bond, and the prosecutors said he remained a flight risk. So Judge Ann Subramanian said the applicable law didn't allow for Combs' release at this point. Among other reasons, the judge noted Combs' violent history. She says, at trial, the defense conceded that the defendant's violence and personal relationships, saying it happened with Cassie and Jane. So, yeah, he's convicted of 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution, maximum of 10 years. Now, when you see maximum sentences, guys, that's not what they're going to get. That's the maximum allowable by law, and the judges rarely throw out the maximum, only in extreme cases. But it also depends on their priors. If they have a lot of prior crimes or prior convictions, then that maximum, then it goes towards that max. But if it's a first-time offender or, someone who's only been in minor, scrapes and misdemeanors and whatnot, then they wouldn't get anywhere near the maximum sentence. But Puffy, this might be an extreme case. I don't know. He's not going to get life, but he might get 10. He might get 10. He could get 10.
He could.
It could happen. But I doubt it. It says, as the judge spoke, the Combs remained stoic with his hands at his lap, and you can see him here. Can you see this picture that I'm showing? Oh no, you can't. I'm sorry. Look at this. So you see Puffy like laying down on the floor praying in his chair, and there you go. Hang on. Let me see what. Marshall Warpath in the building. He said, I was listening to some woo outside. My mom came to inspect the deck. I told her to protect your neck. You know what I mean? You gotta protect your neck. His pops look like Earthquake, the comedian. Really? Diddy's pops? I thought he was skinny as hell. Oh man, for some reason I thought Diddy's pops was like real linky and skinny like Snoop. That's the problem right there. Pops was a real gangster and Diddy wasn't. Yeah, no, trust me. It didn't rub off. Yeah.
The max the max is 20.
Well, according to this here, it just says that the transportation to engage prostitution carries a maximum of 10 years. Now, I don't know about the other charges, but definitely it says he got 2. Well, this is what he got. He got 2 counts of a crime. So I guess the maximum is 10 years per count. So it's 2 counts. He could get 20
years.
if
20
they do
years.
them consecutive, but if they're concurrent, it would be at the same time. So it says earlier Wednesday, he dropped to his knees and prayed in the courtroom after he was acquitted of sex trafficking and racketeering charges that could have put one of hip hop's celebrity figures behind bars for life. The rapper was convicted of lesser prostitution-related offenses and still faces prison time, but is seeking to be freed from jail awaiting sentences. This was a bad move, Puffy. This drop to your knees thing, this was a bad move because people, especially the judge, are not going to they're not going to see this as like remorse. They're going to see this as more examples of someone getting away with it and praying to God, thank you for letting me get away with it. Because, you know, this reaction means he really knows he could have and should have gotten, convicted. Like this reaction is like, oh shit, I got away with it. Hell, thank you. Because if you know you're innocent, bro, and you get found innocent, you're gonna be like fucking right, and you're just gonna sit there. You know what I mean? Like you're not gonna do this shit. This reminds me of R. Kelly talking to Gail and stand up and crying and yelling and shit like that was gonna make him look better. Like this just made you look worse, bro. But
I was one, and I was reading the thing earlier where he was saying he was praying. I thought he was like praying at the table. Like I didn't know he got in the chair or like because they said he was praying. I was like, I didn't know he did all that. I thought he was like at the because how they got to sit at the table. I thought he was at the table like with his hands folded and all that. He was praying.
Yeah, this is a courtroom reporter right here. This is someone in the courtroom, drawing the shit. It says mixed result capped a sordid legal odyssey that shattered Combs' affable Puff Daddy image and derailed his career as Grammy-winning artist and music executive, fashion entrepreneur, and brand ambassador. I mean, I hope that he knows this Puff Daddy image was always a joke to me. I never saw Puffy as like, I never had respect for Puffy. I always was like, damn, Biggie, like, do you really respect this dude or you just know that he's your ticket? Because I got to think better of Biggie, and I know Biggie's smarter than that. And the thing is like, Biggie would have had to have known about all this shit. At least some of it.
I think maybe all that came later on. Like the stuff he did, I think it just came later.
I mean, not according to Usher. Usher was a little child. He was a young boy. He was like 13. He was a child. And Puffy was trying to, So if you go listen to shit that Usher has to say. But anyway, it's I was under the impression that all that shit was much later after Biggie. I felt like this was Puffy in his midlife crisis phase. Like this is Puffy post 50 and like this is like after his career is all shot and he's just wilding out as a rich guy. But I don't know. I'm hearing reports that he's been wilding out since the gate. But it says here, Combs is convicted of flying around the country, including his girlfriends and male sex workers. Flying people around the country, including his girlfriends and male sex workers, to engage in sexual encounters, a felony violation of the Federal Mann Act. So, I mean, basically what they're saying is that he was like, okay, we're going to go over here and party. And like, okay, we're going to fly over here and party over in LA. We're going to fly to Vegas. We're going to fly over here. Bing, bang, boom. We're going to fly around. We're going to do player shit. Popping Cristal. Woo, woo. And not thinking these are sex workers and you're trafficking prostitution across state lines right now. Like it's not what his intention. And they're calling it trafficking. Like Puffy wasn't like sitting there twirling his mustache like, I'm trafficking prostitutes across state lines. It's not what he was thinking. But that's what they're going to use because they seen a picture of him beating up Cassie and other shit.
That was the main thing. That's what got him in court
in
the first place. Yeah, that's what got him looked up in the first place. And really, he actually would have got away with it, except for the hotel. But the video, somebody made a copy of it and sent it to CNN. And he thought he bought the only copy, but he didn't.
But he didn't.
Yeah,
But
he
did
thought he
he
had the only
didn't?
copy and paid for
Did
it.
he?
Paid for it.
Yeah.
He paid for it not to be released.
Yeah.
Somebody else released it. So I mean, listen, beating up Cassie was the worst thing that ever happened to him.
Worst thing ever happened to him.
Yeah, because once that was the downhill from there. Once he did that, everything just started going
That's one
downhill
way to
from
put
there.
it. Yeah. Yeah. It says, what does it say? Triumph for Combs. The jury of 8 men and 4 women acquitted him of racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking charges related to allegations that he used his money, power, and frightening physical force to manipulate his girlfriends into hundreds of drug-fueled sex marathons with men.
Damn.
Like, come on. But I mean, I don't know, bro. I don't want to be that guy, but like, I don't know. I haven't heard all the stories and shit, but I know at some point, like, I just don't believe that there was ever a situation where there was this guy who was like imposing and forcing people to have fun at their sex parties. Like, it's a sex party. People are there. They're having a good time. Everyone's there by fucking choice. And like, if you wanted to leave, you could have left. But I don't know. I wasn't there.
I don't know either. I wasn't there
I
either.
wasn't there. I wasn't there.
Wasn't there either.
They say that he was physically imposing. His physical force manipulated them. I don't know. What did he do? Did he literally, like, tell him? I mean, I don't know, bro. I don't know. It's wild. It doesn't seem like a good time. It doesn't seem like fun at all. It doesn't seem like a sex party. It seems like some dungeonous, torturous shit. I don't know. I don't know why you'd be there. But why would you be there? Why would you be there? Both sides filed written submissions expanding their arguments before Submarion's decision. No date yet for sentencing. When will the judge decide on Combs' punishment for the prostitution conviction? Verdict follows weeks of harrowing testimony. Federal officials involved in the case responded to the outcome by noting that sex crimes are all too present in many aspects of our society. New Yorkers and all Americans want the scourge stopped and perpetrators brought to justice. Yeah, of course. But like, you think I'm buying this shit? Here's my thing, bro. Here's why I'm cynical about it. You're telling me, yeah, because you're telling me there aren't fucking real sick motherfuckers out there doing some wild shit with children, bro. Like, there's some motherfuckers you could be convicting, but this is high profile. This is a media frenzy. This is making careers.
Yeah, big time.
So that's why I don't respect it, because I feel there's a lot worse. Not that he's not a bad guy. Not that he's not horrible. Not that what he did wasn't deplorable. But I know there's a lot worse shit that they could be putting all this focus and effort into. Where are all these missing girls from DC? What's going on? You got 32 black girls just up and missing from DC in a day. And nothing. Yeah, bro. It's all over. Bro. Yeah. Like, shit like that is being glazed over by the media. It's not on the news.
You know
Where
what?
is that?
Well, hold up. Remember, and I hate to bring it up. I hate to say it, because I don't. We don't really deal with that on this channel, and I love that. But I hate to say it, but when Donald Trump got in, remember what he did? He shut down PBS. He shut down all news sources. So there's only certain ones that can report now because of what he did. So like PBS, that's the public broadcast, that's nationwide. He shut all of that down. So a lot of stuff we would have been getting, like what you're talking about. Yeah, he shut it down, bro. Took their funding, took everything. They get a certain amount from the government, and people they get the rest is through public donations. Shut them down.
Why would he do that?
Shut them down. He shut down the worldwide. There's another one. It's called The World, where they just broadcast around the world. So like, we have a news feed that we broadcast to the world. like it's like I don't know. It's like it's been around since like World War II. He shut that down. He shut down all the news sources. He shut all that down, bro. Right now, that's all shut down. We would have probably got that news, but we shut down a lot of the credible news sources.
It's
Bro, that, that's
because those are the news sources that aren't supporting him. Those are the news
yeah.
sources of the people who are telling the truth, and he don't want the truth out there because he wants to control the narrative. And I don't just mean him. I'm not talking shit about anybody specific. I just mean the man, right? Government, period. That's just how they stay in control. They control the media. They control the narrative. It's always been that way. It's not nothing new. I don't think Trump's doing anything new. I mean, yeah, he's shutting some shit down here and there, but everybody always shut something down and did something fucked up. But what
Ain't
basically
nobody
what
ever
he
shut down. Ain't nobody ever shut down
well,
PBS.
no, not specifically
Nobody ever
that
messed with
thing,
PBS. Nobody ever
right?
messed
Not
with
that
PBS.
thing,
They
not
just let that
specifically,
go. They
but
let
they
that
always
do what
shut
they
down
do.
something, right?
Oh
But it's
yeah,
always
yeah, yeah,
something.
yeah. We know that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we know that. But it's listen. I didn't hear about 32 black girls missing, but I do remember, and this is something that I heard back in like 2015, 2016. That there was that even back then it was massive amounts of black, but they were mostly down south,
Yeah.
and some of them were turning up with like I don't know, with like they
Oh,
people
that
saying that
that
they were taking
that
them
documentary about
like
the missing girls
yeah,
and
like
shit,
they
all
was
the missing people in
yeah. They
Atlanta.
said that they
Yeah.
were harvesting their organs
Yeah.
and their ovaries and things like that, and
Yeah.
their uteruses. Like yeah, bro, it was like they said it was like especially African American women. Threw me for
Mhm.
a loop.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't let me see. Here you go. See all the missing in DC shit. Shit. My boy here now. Yo.
That word.
Hang on. You here now? All right, here it comes. All right. I'll be gone for like 10 minutes, 5 minutes.
All right.
You wanna hold it down, or you wanna wrap it up?
No, I'll hold it down. We got it. We can make it work.
All right.
Yeah, I don't have control like you do, but
I know. So I'm trying to see if I can set up
I don't have control
something
like
for
you
you to
do.
do. Ain't showing nothing. I don't know. 34 young women missing in Washington D.C. area. There's no Amber Alert, no channel covering it, nothing, no news, nothing. But I'm seeing all this shit, and you know, wasn't an Amber Alert issue for missing decades. So I don't know if any of it's real or what, but it doesn't matter if this case is real or not because shit like this is happening all the time. It's just the point that I'm making. But I'll be right back, man, and we'll talk about Ironheart, man, and the ending with Mephisto when I get back.
All right. Why he going that? We'll get back to the 2025 Trump administration actively sought to cut federal funding for the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. So what that means is that there are certain entities of news outlets that are on the public broadcasting. So you got the main ones are NPR, right? And everybody knows what NPR. We got NPR Tiny Desk and all that. And then you got PBS. And Trump signed an executive order to cease funding for NPR and PBS, citing allegations of biased and partisan news coverage, which we know is not the case. He has a vendetta against him, so that's just what that is. The FCC, led by Chairman Brennan Carr, also launched investigations into NPR and PBS regarding potential violations of underwriting rules. And actions, against government-funded news outlets that this administration is taking. The administration attempted to shut down the U.S. Agency for Global Media, That's USAGM, which oversees organizations like Voice of America, VOA, Radio Free Europe, Liberty, and Radio Free Asia. Trump revoked funding for USAGM and VOA, claiming they were anti-Trump and promoted racial propaganda, which we know is not true. These news agencies have been around for a while. They've been around since before I was born, before a lot of us. They've been around for a long time, and they only report credible news. They don't do like they won't cover the Diddy trial. They won't cover Idris Elba's new house or Mark Zuckerberg's wedding. They won't do none of that. They only cover credible news sources around the world, and they bring it to what they do is they broadcast to countries that can't get credible news sources or any news at all because the government blocks it. So it's on a radio link that if you had a radio, you can pick it up and you can get the news. And let's just say if we had, I don't know, an outbreak of a war or world war or nuclear war or something like that, they would broadcast that to the world, to places that would have not known because their country might not have a public broadcasting system. We don't, or they might not have a television. They might only, have to get through their news through radio, like we used to back in the 40s and 30s. So, um, you know, a federal judge blocked the shutdown and ordered the administration to restore funding and rehire staff because they laid off a lot of those guys, and a lot of those guys been there a long time. It says the Trump White House also sought to control press access to the White House press pool, removing a permanent slot for independent news writers and giving the White House more control over pool composition. Now we know what that means. He only wants the people in there he likes. These actions have been met with criticism from press, freedom activists, and some media organizations who argue that they are an attempt to silence critical coverage and expert control over the media. That's where we're at now, right now. In their defense, and I'm not even defending them. Um, we have a lot of news sources now. You got people start their own news channels on YouTube, things like that. Uh, and for that reason, we're not getting everything we're supposed to get. But as far as back on topic, as far as Raekwon's album, Slick Rick's album, which was dope. But Rick did do, and he did do some work with Muggs. So we're hoping that that Muggs releases that stuff. They did do a single called Metropolis with Method Man, Slick Rick, and Muggs, and it's dope. Check it out. You can pick it up on iTunes, punch it up on YouTube. Um, hopefully, you guys out there listen to it so that and we can either get the word out to Muggs or let them know we want to know what that project was you did with Rick. And if you didn't do a project and all you did was the one song, please give us an album because Muggs and Rick hooking up, that'd be dope. That'd be super dope. You know, and that'd be probably one of the dopest things I've ever seen. Um, and moving right along, waiting for Reno to come back so we can get into some Ironheart. Yojo June gave us the Snowcat. Reno was a little disappointed in the Snowcat, but it is what it is. It's what we got. But on this channel, we've been asking for lights. We've been asking for LEDs, things like that, and they gave it to us. It's probably going to be the biggest vehicle they released so far, and probably the most detailed. I'm excited for it, and I hope that they get it out. This time I like the fact that they gave us, instead of patches and stickers, they actually gave us figures, for leveling up and for meeting a certain quota. We got Flint and Lady J. That's dope. They got a little campsite, which is dope. Um, they even cook fish and coffee. I think that's dope too. So we'll be looking out for that, and we hope basically that they get that out to us as soon as possible, and everybody get their snowcats. Um, Also, we're waiting on Superman, and this is crazy. I was in Best Buy the other day. I was looking at uh, the toys for the movie, and I noticed something that caught my eye. Um, this this version of Superman, um, I want to know what. Okay, okay. So on the back of the box of Ultraman, they had LexCorp. So LexCorp is also known as Luthor Corp or L Corp. And it's a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate owned and run by Lex Luthor. It's one of Metropolis's main businesses and a global leader in tech and defensive innovation. Now, when I looked at the actual figure for Lex Luthor, he came with that giant kaiju, but it was a small version of it. But he came with a baby version of the kaiju that Superman fought in the movie that we seen in the trailer. Um, so I'm wondering if this might not be Earth One Superman. This might be a different. So I don't know. So because you got when you got LexCorp, that's just a different chapter in the DC universe history. Um, it originally focused on agricultural products. LexCorp has expanded into pharmaceuticals, biotechnology, weapons technology, electronics, and communications. So, and Man of Steel, um, when Superman was fighting Zod, and they flew into space and Zod kicked the satellite at him. The satellite, I think it said Wayne Tech on the side of the satellite. But LexCorp um absorbed many smaller businesses, and economists estimated Lex employed two-thirds of Metropolis's population. It surpassed rivals like Wayne Enterprises and Queen Industries in R&D and military defense contracts, which we know. So we know that whatever Lex is up to is something that he did. So we don't know. Ultraman might be either, I'm thinking Superboy, or he could be the Eradicator, or he could be Bizarro. Um, I don't know. I don't know. But the more we find out about it, the more toys we see, the more we figure, we can delve into this mystery that is Ultraman.
When I was bad. What up? What up?
What up? What up?
Wagwan. What y'all talking about?
LexCorp.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, LexCorp. LexCorp.
LexCorp.
LexCorp.
You
And
got
their
the
role.
the blowtorch, classified blowtorch. It's gonna be dope. I plan to customize it.
I wonder why I didn't make them. The original one was like a bright yellow, like a brighter yellow.
Yeah, yellow and red and shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, man. Let's get into this Ironheart real quick. I know you gotta go in a couple of minutes, 10 minutes or so here, and
We can do it. Let's get it.
we can get it in. Bang, bang. Ironheart ending explained. What's the next for the MCUs with that devilish post-credit scene? I mean, they say the devil is in the details, but it turns out that the devil is also finally in the Marvel Cinematic Universe as of the season series finale of Disney's Ironheart. Whether you loved it or hated it, whether you didn't care about it or whether you thought it was decent, Mephisto has finally arrived in the form of actor Baron Sacha Baron Cohen, also known as Borat, Wagwan, also known as G Ali or Ali G, sorry. And thankfully, though, not giant and red, wearing only his underwear, as per, you know, this iteration here, which, you know, it would have been all right, but I don't think it would have fit. We just got him chilling, looking like Sacha Baron Cohen. Nothing real exciting. Kind of boring. But at least it's like, okay, Mephisto's here. But it wasn't, the cool, exciting, this guy, sadly. But, that said, the reveal of Mephisto is just the tip of the iceberg. The iceberg in hell that dropped. Ironheart dropped this closing hour, but including this wild twist cliffhanger, a mid-credit scene that sets up some potentially big things for the MCU. Moving forward. And so a general, even bigger question as to whether the given circumstances surrounding Ironheart, if any of this is going to be followed up ever in the MCU for any reason. It's not likely. I think, like Stu said last week, this was a show that was really just like a show that was already, made back during the Eternals and Love and Thunder days, and just the bad old days, and they shelved it, right? And they brought it back out, and
they shelved it for a reason. They shelved it, but Marvel has nothing coming out after Fantastic Four, so they got to do something. They got to give us something, even if it's something they didn't want to put out.
Right. I mean, for context, the episode starts off with the ending here for as we discover how Parker Robbins got his demonically powered hood. And so after trying to rob his own father, he escaped thanks to some help from a mysterious stranger, and that would be Mephisto, eating some pizza in Desperitos Pizza. And we'll ignore that the pizza is decidedly not Chicago style, which is either Mephisto playing a classic trick in the Windy City or a missed opportunity to tie the deep dish pizza to the devil. But, this leads to the present where Parker is losing control of his powers and becoming more demonic by the minute. And then we have Riri, I don't like her name, Riri Williams, rolls in, who now has magic armor, but magic plot armor, but as a cost has lost Natalie. Sadly, her AI mysteriously modeled after her dead best friend. Bad taste. Undeterred, she heads to Desperitos to comfort Parker before he can attack her family, and discovers that Ezekiel Stain is there, desperate to escape from Parker's control over his biological implants. And so Riri knees him in the nutsack and resets his controls. And Zeke thanks her, but assures her that in the future they won't be friends. He says, just know that you and I aren't done. So he still salty after Riri ruined his life and landed him in jail. To be understandable. But anyway, that's a series wrap on Zeke, and it's on to the final battle with Parker. The Hood loses it, literally and figuratively, with Riri beating his ass, taking his hood, and leaving him, to paraphrase the immortal words of Natalie in Burglia, cold and shamed, lying hoodless on the floor. And and that's when Riri heads to the seating area of the pizza place and discovers Mephisto is once again eating non-Chicago style pizza. And he's just chilling. He loves pizza, though. He's kicking it. And in case you lived through the whole Mephisto saga online for, the past half a decade, it's definitely Mephisto. 100%. It's really Mephisto. Because I know, like I said, if you were around, 5 years ago when the whole it's going to be Mephisto in the show, and okay, no, Mephisto's going to be in this show. Okay, no, Mephisto's going to be in this movie. No. And it was just Mephisto's going to be here, and then he's not there. Mephisto's going to be here, and then he's not there. So hearing Mephisto was going to be in this show, I didn't give a shit. I never talked about it. We never did a video about it because I don't believe it. It's just more crying wolf. But here we are, and it's literally Mephisto. So it's kind of just too little too late at this point. I wasn't as excited as I thought I would be. And maybe it's because we got this lackluster, just Sacha Baron Cohen sitting there. I really did want to see him with flaming red hair with fire behind him. I didn't want to see him on Earth in a diner. I wanted to see him in the pits of hell. You know what I mean? Like sitting on a skull laden throne amidst some cliff with lava or some shit. I don't know. I don't want to just see Sacha Baron Cohen at a table. That doesn't basically that is so par for this show. I'll just be honest. I mean it's like a whole lot of build up with no payoff. And even when the payoff happens, it's still just kind of like meh. Yeah. I mean, but hey, Mephisto even says that his name is Mephisto out loud, so we know it's him. Speculation that Marvel's Devil could show up in, stretches all the way back to the beginning of the Disney Plus era WandaVision, right? They first thought he was going to be there when Sacha Baron Cohen was cast on Ironheart in 2022. And then he was fired up big time when they dropped the name of Mephisto for Agatha all along. It's definitely going to happen, and of course didn't. And then now here he is in the flesh, literally in the flesh, just normal flesh, tempting Riri Williams alongside a slice of non-Chicago style pizza in Chicago. Even if this sort of pregnant pause, Cohen adds, delivering the name Mephisto landed like a heavy wet turd with Riri. She says, is that supposed to mean something to me? And honestly, it echoed my sentiments. Like at this point, like I don't even care. And this is where you put him. This is where you finally give us Mephisto, and it's here. I don't know. And then it's just this way. But I don't know. It definitely means something to the viewing audience at home, I think, and it also quickly means something to Riri as shocker, she makes a deal with the devil. And while not explicitly stated, she clearly asked Mephisto to bring Natalie back. But the twist is that Mephisto doesn't bring the AI back. He brings the real Natalie back to life. Big shocker. And after being gunned down prior to the events of the series, she is now alive again. Was she buried? Was there a funeral? It's kind of weird. And then the stinger at the end of the Riri hugs her, very confused friend who is now back, and the same devilish veins that grew all over Parker Robbins' back when he would use the hood.
I wonder what those were. Yeah, I wonder what those were.
Start going up Riri's arm. Yeah, that's what that was. That was that demon shit. And so, but the cliffhanger, because this show I think was made back in the day and like brought back, was shelved and then brought back, is because, I think that's going to affect us in a lot of ways. Like I think maybe even these like end credit, teased projects that are probably not going to happen. Like, so Ironheart was announced in 2020, mostly filmed in 2022.
Yeah.
And then there was reportedly some added production in 2024, but that was like post added stuff. So just basically this was made 3 years ago, finally, like it was started 5 years ago. It was started in 2020. That's when they started working on it. They announced it. And they started working on it right away. They literally started filming it 3 years ago and finished filming it 3 years ago. So, that, there was clearly some retooling of the series last year. But this is also a project that comes from a version of Marvel Studios overall that had a plan, that, doesn't quite exist the same way in 2025. They've now slowed down the release of movies and TV shows, and they're kind of rethinking how Marvel Television approaches this, the small screen in general. A project like Ironheart, that is more of a 6-episode movie, really, is at least, as Marvel has explained, not how they're going to do projects anymore. So it feels to me like Ryan Coogler was like, come on, man, you got to fucking show my shit. Like, we made this show. It's great. Everyone's going to love it. Come on, you got to show it. You got to show it. He's been fighting for it. And, you know, he was wrong. He should have stuck with Sinners. That was great. I think that's his lane. I don't think his lane is comics stuff. I think Coogler is a great director for his art that he invents. But trying to adapt comics isn't his bag, I don't think, but that's just me. But you know, we won't know whether the stingers at the end of Ironheart are going to be continued or not until, you know, or like you know, any shows or anything's going to come of them or anything like that, unless they do.
I don't think it will, man. Just don't. Because even like I was talking to like some casual fans because we're more hardcore, and they were saying the same thing. They were kind of like skeptical about it. Like, a lot of people don't like the way they present Riri Williams. She's supposed to be like a genius, like Tony Stark. And they were saying like one person was even telling me like you know, like, why is she struggling to make this suit if she's supposed to be such a genius? Like, in the comics, she made it out of just like scrap pieces she found or she got. I forget how she got her hands on, but you know, they were talking about the story. They were talking about the stereotypes. They didn't like the presentation. They
She
didn't like
made
the
it.
way
She made it out of a box of scraps in a cave.
the comic, yeah. No, not in the cave. In like her garage, she had like some Stark tech, like it was some old Stark tech that she had, and she made a.
Yeah.
She literally made a suit, and then Tony Stark was like impressed by it. He was like, "Oh, you made that out of scraps, like with no blueprints, no nothing. Like you put my old tech together and made yourself a suit." So he
Well,
was,
see,
and
but
then he took it under his wing.
that's what I was getting at. See, she made it out of Tony's old tech. She piggybacked off Tony's shit, and in the show, she acts like she's shitting on Tony all the time, like you know, like, oh, he's a billionaire, you know, if that's why he could do what he did, you know, he's got white privilege, he's a billionaire, and of course, you know, but I don't have those advantages, and it's like, wait a minute, I thought he built this in a cave with a box of scraps.
Yep.
And you got all these grants and monies and loans and investors and shit, and you got all this high tech shit, gadgetry and all this. And yeah, I don't know. It just didn't add up for me. It felt fake. It felt forced. It felt really forced, and it didn't feel anything like Riri Williams or Ironheart. I really, yeah, no, it sucks because like the whole Riri Williams like mythos, the show, the comic, everything is cool, and like it would have been great if that would have gotten, you know, adapted well, if they would have found someone that could have adapted it and made it, I mean, you know, anything resembling the comic. But I mean, honestly, I didn't see anything that gave me these vibes in that show. Nothing.
Right. Nothing.
This is not.
Look at her armor right there.
Mm-hmm. Right. She totally respects Tony.
She does. She actually did it because she admired him, and she wanted to build a suit because she kind of like, you know, she just admires Tony. She admires the stuff that he did, and she wanted to try to do like he did, build a suit, and then do something with it.
They you know, her and Tony were like, he was like her mentor, like, see, she's like, find me something superhero to do, and he's like, what level? My level. But you know, I mean, it was more like the relationship between almost how Spider-Man and and Tony were, but in the show in Ironheart, it's nothing like that. It's nothing like this. It's nothing like this. And that sucks because like fans of the Ironheart show are really riding, I mean, of the comic rather, either hate or love the show. They're either really riding for it, and I think that's copium. I think they're coping, trying to cope because deep down they know it's crap. And I think, but maybe they don't want to admit it. And that's the thing. But like, I can understand that because if you're a big fan of this comic, it's a great comic, and to see something come out that is claiming its name and then doesn't resemble it, I think is part of the old Disney Marvel. That's the whole problem with the old Marvel Guard, and that's the great thing about, I think, where they're heading now is they're leaving that behind. But hey. But I mean, as far as these shows and stuff like that, Armor Wars is the first that comes to mind, formerly a Disney Plus series starring Don Cheadle as War Machine, spinning off of the Secret Invasion. That was upgraded to a movie in 2022, but perhaps due to less than enthusiastic response to Secret Invasion or the tightening behind the scenes, we haven't really heard shit about Armor Wars since, and I don't think anybody's asking about it. And that's the thing Marvel needs to realize. If we haven't, if there's some shit you talked about a couple years ago or whatever, and you haven't talked about it in a while, and nobody's asking, let it die. Let it die. Let it shrivel up and die, because it's just gonna burn you later if you try to bring it out. It's just gonna burn you, man. Nobody's gonna go see it. And so Thorne was reportedly going to reprise her role as Ironheart in the Disney Plus version of this film, of an Ironheart film, which we don't know, to be determined. So similarly, it would make sense that the rivalry here between Ezekiel Stane and Riri Williams could, continue into a movie that's all about, various Iron Man related characters fighting, because you've got, Obadiah Stane, Ironmonger's son, Baby Monger, or whatever they're going to call him. And Riri, who, let's be honest, is a protege of Tony Stark. So stop hating on the man. But again, with that movie in doubt, it's up in the air whether Einreich is building a one-and-done franchise curse between his solo, one-and-done Star Wars story blunder, or this Riri character that goes nowhere. But yeah. How about the mid-credits, though, right? This is pure speculation, but an educated speculation as to what this could have been leading up to. So in the mid-credits scene, Parker goes to Stanton's, the combo candy store, magic store, and is home to Zelma Stanton. And so he wants to help and is interested in Zelma's magic, but she's dubious, and as she should be. But Parker won't quit, and he wants to see the real magic stuff in the back. And so he's like, "I know you don't know me, at least not yet. But if you're up for it, how about a little abracadabra?" He says, and we cut to black, and fucking corny. But while never officially greenlit, back in February, Marvel paused development on a TV show version of Strange Academy, and like the title says, it's a magic school set up by Doctor Strange, and was expected to be the TV show version that would be run by Benedict Wong. And in the books, Zelma Stanton is a key character and works as the school's librarian. And so on Ironheart, she's probably a little young for that, but repeatedly mentions how interested she'd be to study magic at Kamartaj, and the monastery where Doctor Strange and trains in the first movie. And later, America Chavez and Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness. So it's not too much of a stretch to think that the potential Strange Academy series could feature both Zelma and the Hood, or whatever Parker becomes without that demonic hood that he no longer has. So kind of left him hanging too. But at the very least, this is the most likely suspect for what this mid-credit scene was leading up to. Another possibility that doesn't seem very likely to happen anytime soon. The other possibilities for following up on some of these characters include the Black Panther 3, which given Riri debuted in the second Black Panther movie, but that movie has at least been announced and is in the works from director Ryan Coogler. Again, of course, he's gonna always keep the Black Panther title because everyone thinks that he did such a good job. Though we don't have a timeline on when that will appear on screen or anything like that. But
cast.
Well, I think they're gonna cast that guy from Snowfall. What's his name? Idris?
Oh yeah. I know you're talking about. Yeah.
Idris.
So are they going? Is he going to be?
T'Challa.
Is he going to? All right, let's.
T'Challa. That's what they're saying, that he's going to play T'Challa.
No, I don't care who plays T'Challa. We just need somebody to
Yeah,
play Black
T'Challa.
Panther.
Right.
Yeah, we need somebody to play Black Panther.
To recast that character. T'Challa.
Yeah, we need a recast. We just need a recast. Now, we should have did a recast for the second movie. Probably would have made it better.
Yeah. Yeah, they should have recast right away, but you know, they wanted to be all careful.
That's just how it goes. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. If Disney has their way, every male character will be swapped with a female,
I don't know about all that.
and we'll have a whole female Fantastic Four.
Well, I think that's where they were heading when this show was made, Ironheart, but they've changed from that sort of mind frame, and so that's why Ironheart just isn't going to go anywhere, because the that whole Marvel has changed. It's gone. So I don't think we're gonna have to worry about that happening, but about it coming back, about it going back to that, or because I honestly, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I don't really want anything from this show to continue on. I didn't like it myself. It wasn't for me, but that doesn't mean it's not for other people. And so it doesn't matter what I want. Is if people want it, then I hope they get it. I hope that they continue the show for all the people that want it, or shows spin off from it for people that want it, man. Because I just want people to have what they want. I don't care what it is. But what I don't want is for Marvel to keep spewing out stuff that nobody wants. So if it turns out that not enough people like it, I mean, honestly, guys, I'm sorry if, only a small majority of people like it, and you're one of those people, you can't get mad when people say they don't like it, because you're in the minority. Most people don't like it, so you can't get mad at most people. I mean, you can just be like, okay, I wonder what it is about it that I like, and what is about it that everyone doesn't like, and try to figure that out if that's what you want to do. For me, I don't give a damn. If I like something, I don't care if everyone else hates it.
That's how it's supposed to be. If you like
That's not how it be. But that's not how it be. People will be like, oh, everyone don't like it, so I don't like it. The fuck is wrong with you? Everyone don't like it, so you don't like it. What that don't make no sense to me, man. But that's how people act, bro. Like, all of a sudden, I have people be like, people don't like that shit. The fuck I care if people like it. I'm telling you what I like, and I'm asking you what you like. I don't care what people like. That's not important, I don't think. But that's just me. I just don't find that important. But here goes Blowtorch in all his glory.
They look dope. Yo.
Yeah, he was one of my favorites as a kid. I don't know why. I don't know if he was really a favorite, or if he was just. But the Snowcat is out. Has been revealed, and there's a few things that I think would go really well with the Snowcat, and I really hope that they do, because it would really help them sell the Snowcat. It would make the whole idea of buying some snow themed stuff feel a lot, make a lot more sense. And it would just be great if they did add these joints here. So I just want to show y'all a couple of my ideas that I think we're gonna see. Hang on. No, I don't want the Snowcat, damn it. All right, but anyways, Blizzard is one of my favorite characters that they never gave us that they should give us. Iceberg is another one. There's a something called the Snow Dominator. that I had as a kid, and it had this dude named Arctic or something. But here's oh yeah, bruh. What? The Cobra Wolf. And because the driver was dope.
Yeah, driver was hard.
He was like a ninja. He was like Storm Shadow, like a Storm Shadow head. See, there he is.
Yeah.
And then he's got a helmet. Yeah, and he's got like a helmet that goes over, and it just looks really cool. The Cobra Wolf. And then we've got there was the there was the snowmobile deal, but here it is. Here's that thing. Oh, and then this guy, Frostbite. So we're getting Frostbite with the Snowcat. Okay, cool. We got to get him out of the way. But like you, instead of you gave us another Lady J and another Flint when you could have gave us Blizzard and fucking Iceberg, or you know what I mean? Here. Well, not to avoid doing another repeat of a character that we've already had. You could have given us someone we don't have. But this, remember the snowmobile? I really hope they give us this. This is one of my favorite. I really liked the little vehicles. I don't know why. When I was a kid, I liked the Off-Striker, the motorcycle, and like the snowmobile. I liked the four-wheeler. My favorite toys were always the small ones because you could play with them better. Like they were more. You know, you could do the big shit was just like, like, okay, what am I gonna do with all this shit? Like, that's how, I'm flying a jet. Like, it didn't, like, this shit could go over hills and you could ride around and have more fun with it. And they can build these vehicles because they're small and, you know, classified at such a large scale that it would be dope to see these small vehicles. But obviously the ski mobile, the polar bear, that's definitely gotta happen. But there's one thing called the Dominator. I remember it from a kid, and he had this like futuristic driver. Here it is, right? No. Yeah, that's it right there. Battle Force. It was this thing right here. It comes on skis. It's like a tank. I don't much care for it, but it's about the size of like a vamp or something like that. So they could do it, but let me see. There it is. And then I remember this dude that drove it was a cool character. So it would be cool. Let me pull him out. Here he is. Avalanche. That was his name. Avalanche. Why is it just the back of him? Here, we'll do like this.
Oh, it was an arrow. Go back. There was an arrow. Because they probably took him around to the front.
Yeah, well, here he is from the front. I feel like he had some sort of a mask. I guess not.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically he's like a camouflage white dude, white outfit with brown camouflage and like a bunch of chrome. Then there was this dude here. I hope they don't make because he was boring as shit. This guy here, they need to drop. Iceberg.
Oh yeah, I remember Iceberg. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Definitely need an Iceberg. We need a Blizzard. Blizzard's the one I really am excited for. Like if we get Blizzard, I'll be happy, bro. He's the coolest snow character, I think. Just, you know, for my style. Let's see if they got a good. Oh, that's him. He comes with skis and a bunch of shit, but I'm trying to find the artwork for him. But see, he comes with a bunch of stuff. He comes with a great loadout. He's got an Uzi, a pistol, a set of skis, some snowshoes, these handlebars for his little sled thing here. backpack that doubles into like a sled, and he flies around. Here's his package. Yeah. Because the package made him look so dope. And so this is more what I think of when I think of what Classified's going to look like. It'll be more like how this guy on the package looks. And that's cool. He'll look dope. He'll look super dope as Classified. Snow themed. There was a lot of snow themed, dude. I wish Raw Talk was on tonight. He could have showed us all these toys in person. Here's Iceberg.
Yeah, Iceberg.
But I don't know. They might release these guys, and I hope that they don't release them as like Comic-Con exclusives or anything stupid. But if they do, like maybe
that'd be a hurt piece. That'd
reveal.
Be a hurt piece.
I know, but they may reveal them at what you call it. So
I hope they do.
Yeah. Man, none of these Blizzard iterations look like what I think the figure would have looked like. But I see some people turn their snow jobs into blizzards. I think that's what this guy did. Well, you really could customize your snow job into a blizzard if you wanted to.
Yeah.
You need to get a helmet. Oh, did they do a Tiger Force snow job? Or avalanche, I mean?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Jesus. That's terrible.
That is.
But a lot of cool shit for snow gear that the cat will pull out. But if they bring us this guy Blizzard, they give us Iceberg, and since they gave us the Snow Flint and the Snow Lady J, you gotta give us the Snow Stalker with the fucking kayak to go with the guy. Oh, it's happening. Mark my words, I'm calling it. San Diego Comic-Con, they're gonna reveal Snow Stalker because he comes with a kayak, and he's gonna go with the little tent that comes with the snowcat, the little tent and the little gear with the fishing pole. Check this out. Tell me that don't go.
Yeah, like dope. Yeah, if you would call that up, yeah, that'll work.
That's definitely gonna happen. Fucking Snow Stalker. What do they call him? Let me see if he's where's the package? Huh. It's too bad they gave us my Copperhead without the boat. That'd be cool if they gave us that boat. But I'm still glad they gave us Copperhead.
I used to like Copperhead. He's one of my favorites.
I would like to see a Muskrat too. Sad we didn't get Wetsuit, man. They need to go on and give us Wetsuit, man. He was the coolest looking diver figure. Him and the
Deep Six.
I didn't care for Deep Six. He just had this big bulky plastic can. You know what I mean?
They could
right?
make them. No, I'm saying they can make them better now. That's why I
Yeah.
don't want them to do a Deep Six now. They make a Deep
Yeah.
Six look dope.
I liked who else? He was it Water Viper? Hydro Viper. No, Hydro Viper. Yeah, here's a version. That would be cool, man, if they did. But that's the Hydro Viper right there. He is. So that would be wicked in a classified.
That's hard. Yeah, that's hard.
Classified needs to do a Hydro Viper now. Come on now, guys.
Yeah, that would be.
Come on now, guys. Yeah, bro. And this is how he looks with his helmet off. Wow, there were 2 color versions. No shit. I wonder if Raw Talk got both. But yeah, he's dope. He's got one webbed hand which was always really cool. That'll be really cool. And then he's got that really cool mask. Obviously, the helmet is real insane. Hang on, man. I don't need a little water viper. Bang. Yeah, I definitely remember having the Hydro Viper. Look how cool that looked. Ooh. That he came with a Stingray too. Wow, he came with a Stingray. I forgot about that. Oh, they're definitely gonna do him. They're just waiting. They're just biding their time because that's a definite big time seller. They're gonna drop the Scorpion guy first. They're doing Desert Scorpion first, then they're gonna drop Hydro Viper and to go with their animal, their pet pet line. Desert Scorpion is one of the cooler looking too. So like these are really cool dudes with the pets. You got Desert Scorpion. Hell no. There he is. Dope.
It is dope. Yeah.
Reminds me of there he is. That's the one. I remember this as a kid. I think yeah, I remember this. That's gonna look amazing in classified, bro. I can't wait.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, they need to give us that.
You know what I remember? You know what I think this was? Because it's weird. I think in my mind, I think I saw this after I was not playing with like GI Joes anymore. I think I saw this around the time I was like into reptiles and shit. I had like a chameleon and like an emperor scorpion and like a tarantula and all this shit, you know. And this is exactly almost what an emperor scorpion looks like. And I remember seeing it in the store and thinking, "Oh wow, that dude looks really cool. That's pretty cool." Like, but I wasn't playing with GI Joe anymore. That's just my memory of it, and I can confirm that by seeing when this character came out. I don't know when he came out. Dude, he's cool as shit looking. I definitely was did not have this kid as a kid, but I definitely saw it as a kid. That's the weird thing. There's the package anyway. But yeah, when did this come out? 91? Action figure released 1991. So yeah, I had been not playing with GI Joes for a couple years at this point. So, but I still want it because I have a rule where I really don't buy anything anymore, like especially GI Joe that I didn't have as a kid. Like if I didn't have it as a kid, I'm not buying it anymore. And I'm getting rid of everything I did. You want that metalhead? We could work something out. I'm getting rid of my metalhead, my Steel Core and Twilight Guard 2-pack. Yep. Steel Core and Twilight Guard 2-pack. I might get rid of my Heavy Duty because I don't even remember that dude. Yeah, that's about it for now, I think. But I'm stop buying shit I didn't have as a kid. But Desert Scorpion is he's gonna make it through. He's gonna slip through that crack.
Oh, he's gonna slip through the crack.
Definitely.
That's what I do. I just get the ones I definitely gotta have, the ones I didn't have that I had as a kid.
Right.
The rest of them you can keep.
Don't need them. $250 if you want the original. Yeah, 1990 or whatever it is. Because I stopped fucking with them in '89 was the last year that I really bought or played with GI Joe.
Yeah, me too. Starting by 88, you know.
$250.
Mm,
Here's one opened up for 89. Yeah.
wow.
Oh, that's cool. It's good to know that
You can get them
piece. Is that
cheap.
all? Is that everything? Yeah, I
Looks
think that
like
is
it.
everything. Yeah, yeah. That's everything, and that's all, and that's our show, y'all. And we had a good one, man. We kicked it. We did the damn thing. We'll see you guys. We'll see you guys though. We'll be back every Wednesday and Saturday. So definitely this Saturday will be our next show. We'll see you guys then at 7 p.m. If you haven't done it yet, please like, please subscribe, help us out with the algorithm, and leave a comment, man. Leave a comment down in the comment section. That also helps us out with the algorithm, and that will help you get better content. We'll see you guys Saturday. And don't forget.
Be water, my friend.